onto the league. But one guy, this is a Knicks podcast first, and I watch all 82 since since 2007. Like I've been an adamant Knicks fan, and RJ, he's pretty much he's the king of this team. Our leader. Um, Interesting being able to. Wait, are you still here? You still here? Okay, cool, cool. So you see the Duke thing behind me. I'm a huge Duke fan as well. So you could imagine, RJ going to my favorite college and my favorite NBA team. Definitely my favorite player in the league. And watching his growth since his first college game has been a treat for me as well. Um, how did that relationship start and got built and to where it is today?
Yeah, RJ came to our program in ninth grade as somebody that already had a lot of major ability. He was a phenom, and I'm known amongst others, but I'm known for developing big guards, the mind and also the skill set. And we played in the EYBL, the Nike League, which is the best competition. So, it made sense for him to come over, and I helped guide him through. Even when he got drafted, I lived with him up in Westchester County and Yonkers area. His getting to his rookie year after the summer league to get him ready to handle the ball a lot. Here, I was at all the games until my last game I was here was when they shut everything down. They played against Shea in 2020.
Yeah,
I
I was
remember
at
that game.
that game. I was at that game actually
Yeah,
by myself. Yep, yep. I was at that game.
I was I was in the box seat doing the thing, and then I left, and then as soon as I got home, everything shut down. That was the last game before the NBA shut down.
Yep.
So I remember I didn't know Shaden was going to play. I had a picture. If you look at my Instagram, I got a picture with them. That was at that game, both of them together. And so that was that game. And it was pretty cool. But no, I have a great relationship with RJ. I've known him for a while. I mentor him, one of many, and I advise him on things. He's a very loyal and humble guy. He's a killer. He's been that way. He's going to get it done. His will is amazing. Jump shot come a long way. He's on my favorite team, and obviously I love him as a player. He knows that, and his whole family is phenomenal. So very strong relationship with him.
No, when I first got noticed onto him is when he during the FIBA finals under 19, and
Oh yes,
he dropped 38 against the US, which is right now when you look back at it, such a loaded team, all
yeah,
first rounders. Kevin Herter, Emmanuel Quickly, Cam Reddish,
yes.
Carson Edwards, PJ Washington. I mean, he was going against a loaded team. And not to take anything away from the Canada team, but it wasn't on par to what was going on in the US. And for him to go on that stage and to completely just dominate the game from beginning to start, um, was like, wow. Was that the turning point for you, to you for him, and like, wow, like this kid has arrived on like,
Yeah, it was great because he was younger. He only played on the team because Shea and Lugens, Dort. I don't know if Dort was there.
yeah,
Nik-
yeah.
Nikhil, a bunch of guys couldn't play because they would get ready for their college season.
Hmm.
He was in high school, so he went down two age groups to play with them because he's born in 2000. That team was 1998. So he went down two age groups and did that. I think I had in our club we had 6 or 7 guys on that team. Um, it was phenomenal. Abu Kiga was on that team. He got an All-Star. He went to Boise State. He's in the draft this year. Lindell Wigginton was on that team. Emmanuel Miller, Leonard's brother. We had about 6 or 7 guys on that team. And RJ just came up because guys couldn't do it. So he was getting ready for high school. Get ready for I think his junior year that year. So it was phenomenal that he did it, 2 ages up and beat that team that was coached by John Calipari, Hall of Famer. And it was fantastic. So that was huge for Canada basketball. I think it was the first time Canada ever won a gold medal in basketball and definitely beating the US. So it was definitely something that helped to cement his legacy as a franchise guy and a killer.
you know and then it seems like after that he just was in another atmosphere. Number one recruit in his class, ahead of Zion, a whole bunch of guys. He's number one, and all these college offers are still coming in. All these elite programs. And for your perspective, what do you think was his main like point for going to Duke instead of all because he could have went to any school he wanted to. He was that kid in high school. Why do you think he decides to go to Coach K and the beloved Duke program in the Brotherhood?
I think he always likes challenge, and he puts so much work in. He's about excellence because he definitely wanted to come to the Knicks. He was not working out for any team, the Knicks or don't draft me. I'm going back to college type deal. So you got the Knicks, who, in my opinion, is top of the top. I don't care how many. It's not about championships. It's about the whole environment, the legacy, the fan base. The Knicks is top of the top. And then you have Duke. Then he went to Mount Verde. So if you notice it, he's always going to these places that have strong legacy, that have strong tradition. So it just made sense that he went to Duke with a Hall of Fame coach. He has some good options. However, you know, what he's about is about challenging himself and being mentored by the best in Coach K. And so it made sense. The fact that he's coming to New York, which has a lot of Duke fans, makes helps as well. But he seeks out the best where he can learn from, and that's why he went. Boyle, Hall of Fame high school coach, to Coach K. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. And it's interesting, right? Because he could have went, like you said, he could have went to another program, been the man, had the ball in his hand, averaged 30 something points, and then, you know, but I think it's pretty interesting to his character that he decides to go that route the hard way, play with other, top five recruits, learn how to play with other great players. And because, when you get to the next level, everybody is good, right? And you got to have to learn, to get yours in that type of system. So, and I can't really fault him for that. Um, you know, coming into this, I guess the second half of this year, you seen RJ, get the ball in his hand, and the Knicks started winning way more games, and RJ was way more effective. Um, talk about his development and the work that he puts in the summer. For him, hopefully, because the expectations from the fan base is for him to at least be competing for an all-star spot. You know how it is with the politics. He might not get the spot, but we damn near want him in the conversation. And if he's in the conversation, that means we're winning basketball games. So, talk about that, his work that he put in and his development as a pro.
Well, the knock that he had coming in was that he needed to work on his right hand, and then he needed to work on his shooting. He wasn't a good. So he ended up working so hard. He shot over 40% from three.
Yeah.
I think it was 42, 40. That shows you how much work you're putting in. And then, as you can see, he's going right pretty well. Then some of the knock was that he was going use one gear to fourth gear too fast, slowed his game up. Better passer, playmaking, letting the play open up, letting the screens develop, letting the defender, giving taking what he's giving him. So he's matured mentally. He put a lot of work in his game, which is evident. And I think he towards the end of this year, his volume was higher, but it's because he needed to do that. So whatever the team needs, he's going to do. He started to rebound more. His dad is always, great about, yeah, you want to have the ball in your hands, you got to go rebound. So if you look at his numbers and when he was from when he came in, and more importantly, if you look at what people said he couldn't do, he's addressed that, and he's only going to get better.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, I watched all his games as a pro, and it's very, very like interesting to see him, develop. Like you said, the second year, his shot was incredible. I'm like, did he improve? Like, is that him shooting the ball? Like wow, and it's pretty phenomenal. You know, how do you see, the next season shaping out for him? With him coming into the next season, and how do you feel like he'll play, in that new role?
Got a little frozen there.
Hello, hello. Yeah, no, I wanted to ask you, with RJ, with his new role on the Knicks and him being able to be the primary ball handler, how do you envision, this next season coming for him?
I think it'd be good if they get, if he's able to play as a secondary ball handler, it'll free him up because he's a great slasher, catch lobs, whatever. But if he needs to handle the ball, fine. Because if the Duke, I remember I was at almost every game at Duke, and I remember when they lost, he had 10 assists in that last game. They lost to Michigan State. He was the point guard, even though they had the top point guard in the country on his team that came out, and he's in the NBA now. Tyus,
Trying to join that. The one on
Yeah,
the Grizzlies or the Spurs? I get them mixed
I
up.
can't remember, but it's the younger one. I think it's Tyus Jones or one of the guys. He was a number one point guard recruit. While RJ was such, he had great poise and vision with his height to look over stuff. He ended up getting 10 assists in that game. People don't understand that. And that's on a stacked team with 4 NBA players, actually five, because one of the big men got ended up in the second round or ended up in the NBA. So that's five guys. So I think him handling the ball is fine. It allows him to find more people. But whatever Tibbs want to do to win, he's going to do it. I mean, I think he's best as a secondary ball handler, where he can score, slash, and do things of that nature. But with today's NBA, if you got three perimeter guys that can all play, make, and score, I think that's fine. Traditional point guards are already gone, so you know, I just think he'll do whatever it takes to win. He's played every position in his life, 1 to 5. So he's a hooper. That's what he is. I think whatever that he wants to win. So, and I want to win as a Knicks fan. Um, I'm just happy he's there. My favorite team, favorite player. It's great to, you know, I shouldn't say favorite player, but he's on my favorite team. And, I have a lot of favorite players. Like having a lot of kids, you can't pick the best one, but, he has a unique ability to will himself and will guys around him to victory. So I think you have a fantastic leader to build around for sure.
Yeah, yeah. He said it multiple times. I want to be the guy. I want to be the man. I want to help this franchise get out the hole and put life. Remember last season we made the playoff. You seen how the city reacted. So he knows. He knows. Um, another